Now, this morning, we continue our conversation as we raise awareness during the upcoming Christmas time for safety measures that should be taken during cooking and baking in your home. This morning, to have that conversation with me, we have Officer Rogers. Good morning and welcome. Now, Mr. Jude Rogers, we've had several conversations on air regarding the use of fire extinguishers as well as smoke detectors and fire detectors. And this morning, in your capacity as fire prevention officer, we understand that Christmas time is the time where people bake and cook both inside and outside. So tell us why it's important for persons to safeguard themselves during this time as they enjoy the Christmas celebrations.
All right, so pleasant morning to all of our viewers and our listeners. The Tobago Fire Service has a very serious message that we want to send to members of the public as it relates to your preparations for the Christmas period and the New Year. It's a season that we welcome, but catastrophe can be right around the door if we're not aware. And so what we're here to do this morning is to raise the level of awareness. We are saying that while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, renovating, and preparing for the Christmas season, you must pay attention to fire safety measures. Some basic measures that I want to put forward to you this morning relates to, one, making sure that your exits are not blocked as you continue to renovate. Please always have two ways in and out of your property, your business. So it's not only relating to homes, but also to businesses. In addition to that, we want to pay specific attention to electricity and the use of electrical items in your home and in your business space. There's a lot of things going on, from cooking, baking, but also there's a lot of electrical work that may be taking place because you're using a lot more appliances. Hence the reason we can have an overload and the possibility of a fire. So we want to safeguard against those measures.
Right. And there's also the young persons who are outside playing with fireworks and bamboo and other stuff that include fire that can be a fire hazard. How can these things be adequately supervised during this time?
So you hit the nail on the head, Shenell, by saying that they should be supervised. And what we're saying to parents, your children, as they engage in activities such as playing with fireworks of what we call a Class C or what's called for consumer use, because you're not allowed to use anything above that level. We're saying that you need to supervise children under the age of 16. All right. We should also make sure that what you purchase, that you read the labeled instructions. Do not allow children to use fireworks indoors. It should always be used outdoors and away from overhead trees, electrical lines, and shrubbery. So normally in an open space, not under a garage area, etc., etc. And of course, we want persons to use fireworks and to use the different paraphernalias in the way that it was prescribed. So never ever try to shoot a firework in a glass bottle. Never shoot a firework at another person. All right? And we can enjoy these items, which are done in a controlled manner, in the prescribed way that they are labeled to be used.
Okay. And talk to us about why it's so important to utilize your smoke detectors this Christmas season.
Shenell, you of all people would have had the benefit of understanding the value of a smoke detector. A smoke detector or a smoke alarm works while you are asleep. And there are some videos that we've produced in the fire prevention department that speak specifically to that. When you are asleep, there is nothing that can wake you from sleep at that right point in time, which is in the first 30 seconds of a fire. Critical, because you really only have 2 to 3 minutes to evacuate your home in the event of a fire. So if you are not awakened in that first 2 to 3 minutes, the likelihood of you making it out alive, Shenell, is greatly diminished. And so we want persons to have that fighting chance. And so the fire prevention department is, you must hear the beep where you sleep. And that's something that we tell to little children as well as the young at heart or age population, who are the most susceptible to fires based on the statistics that has been coming into the fire department. The very, very young and the very old or the aged persons are the ones that are most affected, and we see them showing up on our statistics as being part of our death by fire statistics.
Excellent. And so when it comes to the utilization of a fire extinguisher, we are saying that it's really important, especially for persons who have really young and very old persons within the home. And this morning you want to give away one smoke detector to a lucky viewer. And so what we're going to do, we're going to open up the phone lines for you watching. If you are interested in winning a smoke detector this morning, this is your opportunity to do so. You can call us, and we have our fire prevention officer, Rogers, who is going to ask
a very easy question.
very
easy question this morning.
Yeah. So what question are you going to ask?
Okay, so I don't want to give them before. I want to ask when you have the call on the line, then I would ask the question.
Because they might be Googling.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, they might be doing their research.
That's right.
So let's wait until we get you on the line, and then we would ask you a question. Let's know if you think that you know a little bit about fire prevention, or even the use of smoke detectors.
All right, so I will continue to share more information while we wait on the caller. Right, so where should I locate a smoke detector in my home? Definitely in all of your bedrooms, because that's where we sleep. You can even place them outside of the corridor or along the corridor that leads to your bedrooms, your living room, and storerooms, right? But never ever in the kitchen. And there's a reason why we don't put them in the kitchen, and that's because if you place them in the kitchen while you're doing the cooking, smoke will emanate from the stove and it's going to trip that off. So what we use in the kitchen is a heat detector. All right, but this morning we're giving away a smoke detector that's from one of our sponsors who has come on board. It's a stakeholder that supports the fire prevention effort in Trinidad and Tobago, and so we're very, very happy to have a smoke detector from a safety company such as Interchem Limited, who is with us supporting us this morning.
All right, and where can persons in Tobago get a good smoke detector or fire detector?
So that's a very good question again, Shenell. So in Tobago, we have two companies that I know of that support this effort. Most persons know Revs, and a lot of persons also know Cole and Associates. Now, I'm not too sure if there are many other companies, but those two companies, I'm pretty certain they have the right equipment and the safe equipment.
All right. Well, we do have a caller on the line, so you can go ahead and ask your question.
All right. So, caller, pleasant good morning to you, caller.
Good morning.
And where are you calling us from this morning?
Mason Hall.
Mason Hall. So Mason Hall, we have a question for you this morning as it relates to smoke detectors. And it's a very, very simple question. Can you give me one or three places that you should locate a smoke detector in your home?
A smoke detector should be located.
I said it earlier on, one of three places. Say again?
Around the kitchen area.
All right, so the caller said around the kitchen area. Shenell, is that correct?
No.
Unfortunately, that is not correct. Yeah. All right,
because a smoke detector cannot be placed in the kitchen because the kitchen is a place where smoke
emanates and it will trip off all the time and it'll become a nuisance. Caller, do you want to give a caller one more chance, or we want to give somebody else a chance? It's up to you, Shenell.
One more chance.
We're going to give you one more chance. Shenell is very generous this morning, so I'm going to give you one other opportunity. Where else can we place a smoke detector to make sure that we detect smoke in the event of a fire?
It can be placed in your hallway.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, give her a round of applause. In the hallway or your corridors. So I don't know if you want to give your name online, or you can take the information, and we would definitely collect your smoke detector at the Tobago Updates channel, Shenell.
Yeah, definitely. So you just hold online and someone will take your information. All right. Well, that was a great way to start off the morning.
Of course.
We have someone from Mason Hall winning a free smoke detector there. And so as we round up our discussions this morning, is there anything specific that you want to leave with our viewers this morning?
Oh, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many different ways that we can approach this, but the fire service is saying, let's build it from the ground up. Start off by detecting fire first. Then you add a fire extinguisher to your arsenal. When you detect a fire, you must now have a fire extinguisher to respond to these fires. You must be trained and understand how to use them, and you must service your equipment and ensure that you are able to protect your home. Shenell, we spend 1 point something million and more on our homes. It's only a very small amount of money to purchase the necessary equipment, and I'm saying every family in Tobago and Trinidad should invest in at least one smoke detector. And as my friend from Mason Hall said, place it in the hallway. It will offer some level of protection. to you and your family.
All right. And finally, before we go, how important is it to put a sprinkler as well in the home? And is it something that can be done with some of the older constructed homes, or is it something that can only be done in new construction?
Well, there are particular codes that we use in the fire prevention department to determine which buildings require sprinkler systems. Now, sprinkler systems are very expensive to install. You're talking about piping system and pump systems, etc., etc. So we normally only recommend them for businesses or high hazards, where you have storage of fireworks, where you may have the storage of flammable gases, where you may have an antiquity that is so valuable that you would need to protect them with water. Because, of course, if you put water on most of your equipment, it will cause some water damage. So you have to be very specific as to what areas you would put a sprinkler. And so I would not recommend sprinklers for homes.
All right. Thank you so much, Fire Prevention Officer Rogers. Thank you. You know, you are always welcome here at Tobago Updates, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
This Christmas season, here are some fire safety tips that can save your life. Check extension cords for visible breaks in the insulation, which can expose the internal wiring. Refrain from overloading individual electrical circuits by using extension cords and adding multiple outlets. Do not run extension cords under carpets or across doorways. Use UL listed extension cords and decorative lights and follow all instructions provided. Do not use interior lights outdoors. Green tags for indoor use only and red tags for outdoor use. Refrain from cutting off fuse protective plugs or decorative lights, which is a safeguard. Do not connect more than 3 decorative lights per electrical circuit. Use insulated hooks to hang decorative lights. Unplug all decorative lights before bedtime or leaving your premises. Remember, fire safety begins with you.
As we are in the holiday season, here are some fire safety tips to safeguard your loved ones and home. Always use proper holders or receptacles to secure your candles. Maintain 2 ways in and out of your home. Flammables, household chemicals, and cleaning agents should be stored separately. When cooking, stoves are not to be left unattended for prolonged periods. All gas cylinders must be properly connected and hose clips secured tightly to avoid gas leaks. Family members must be aware of your evacuation procedures, and the muster point must be identified. Under no circumstances should you re-enter your home in the event of a fire. Remember, fire safety begins with you.
This Christmas season, here are some fire safety tips that can save your